Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, today we're going to speak about spiritual mastery. And our luminary who's bringing this topic to the forefront is Kaleena Cosmic Whisperer. And I don't know how Kaleena and I haven't met until recently. And I had the privilege of having a session with her not too long ago. And I was blown away at her capacity to tune in, to help clear what was in, to give me messages from my mother to there was just so much. There was just so much that was there, y'all. So this is gonna be an amazing call. What's going to be channeled from Kaleena, we don't necessarily know because as Kaleena says, if as it comes in, she can't help but to hold it back or else it starts to hurt maybe. Um, but I do know of her capacity, and she's really a way shower. She's working with the land and helping to open and to clear portals. Her story of how she's activated these gifts within her, and then the type of people that she has helped along the way. A lot of names that you would probably recognize in the spiritual community who you consider leaders now as well. It's it's amazing, and I'm grateful, and I trust timing, and the timing's big now. So, y'all, without further ado, I want to introduce you to Kaleena. Kaleena, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me. And I do
Mhm.
have to say, it was a pleasure working with you, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And the message from your father, too, then the next time that I saw you.
That's right. It was in the forgiveness session with my father, which I still have the recording, and I'm going through the practices as well that were just incredible.
Yeah.
What comes through to you, Kaleena? What are you aware of what gives you the capacity to tune in at such depth and not just be so accurate with what you're sharing, but provide an environment for a transformation to occur that can actually hold within our own field?
You know, it's amazing. Every single session is different, they're never the same. So, as long as I create the safe space and container for everyone, and my work is very much with the Holy Spirit. So, I bring that Holy Spirit in first. And then from there, it's almost like layers of my own self open up. So the aspects of myself come forth to
Mm,
be able to connect with all of the aspects of the person that I'm working with as well. And literally on the other side of the screen, I see myself on your screen. But the a different, I actually see someone popping in on your screen right now on your back
mm,
left. But I see layers, I see dimensions, I see portals, I see in your subconscious, I feel everything in my body as an open conduit and super sensitive being since a child. And it gives me the ability when I open myself up freely, completely in that energy and field of the Holy Spirit through my quantumness and through that energetic vibration and frequency at the higher levels to be able to do that work.
mm.
Does that make sense?
It actually does. And I know it makes sense to this community. You're speaking our language, most definitely. And again, you work as a conscious open channel and a multi-dimensional quantum energy healer and a high priestess activator. So there's one thing to be able to access and to be able to see, and there's another thing to be able to provide, to help provide a foundation for vibrational shift. And how do you see that occurring when you're working with your clients, when you're working with people, when they're receiving transmissions that you've recorded weeks or years ago, that they're still getting the
Hmm.
privilege and the benefit
Yeah.
of what was provided?
Yeah. Well, everything is nonlinear when it comes through. It's nonlinear. It is frequency, it is vibration, and it's at source level. So when it comes through me, it's not like I own it. It's nothing that I've aligned. It comes through directly from the source, and it comes. I want to say this because I want to explain a little bit.
Mm,
This energy that comes through is sacred geometry.
mhm,
And it comes in that way, and that's where when they showed me how it comes in and they showed it in my third eye, it then gets interpreted and becomes a vibration and a frequency, like almost like all at once. And it turns on. It turns on all these different abilities within myself. They all come online so that I can open up and expand because I can't walk around all day with them on. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like I can't.
Yeah.
There's some things that are online all day, but not everything. Um, because I'll be flying higher than I already am. But so these different versions of the self come in as well, the different aspects, and they hold, like I said before, it's a holding of a container of energy, frequency, and vibration to be able to reach the person at different energetic vibrations and levels that they are at. And what I'm doing, what they're showing me is I bring them into my frequency and vibration. They've got to meet me. Does that make
Mhm.
sense
Yeah.
in the session? And so that's like when I bring the Holy Spirit in, the first thing I do is open up the container, bring that in. It's almost like they're parting from that third dimensional self that they are, and they begin to feel the energy flowing, and it opens up that pathway of their higher consciousness, and also the pathway for me to get into the subconscious
Mm.
to be able to bring forth everything that needs to be revealed to be healed.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And the way I would put an analogy to that, it's a long time ago, I saw, again, the way that I grew up, a very Catholic, Latino Catholic, and I used to see my parents praying, and then they taught us to pray. And the prayer was always, God, please come down and help me and relieve me of my suffering.
Mhm.
And my guides came in, it's like, you need to learn the way in which it was originally provided for you, the true connection. It's not asking someone to come down to meet you in that, but it's about your intention of blessing yourself to rise to the truth of what you're available to and to meet that vibrational frequency so that you can lift yourself up. It's not about anybody saving us, it's about knowing our capacity and again, blessing ourselves, blessing what we're praying to. And in that case, acknowledging that and meeting on a harmonic level.
Absolutely. There's so many ways that we have been told. I was raised Catholic as well, but there's so many ways that we have been taught and told that we're doing things wrong if we do it this way because we've got to do it the way we were taught. Otherwise, it's blasphemy and it's discouraged and all of these things. Um, and for me, since a child sitting in the church, it never felt right. It was very uncomfortable. It was a discomfort, and I was one of 9 children, but it was a discomfort being in there because I could hear since I was born. I could see since I was born. I could feel since I was born. I had all these clairs. And so for me, I always knew frequency. I didn't know the word, but I always had that higher feeling.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Like it was like the only way I could describe it is when I asked my sisters one day, "Do you feel that like epiphany feeling?" And they're like, I remember my one sister said no, and I'm like, "Can I feel it here?" And I feel it here, and I remember she said no. But I felt it. But I didn't know that that's what it was. It's vibration and frequency. So even in church, what they were saying was drowned out. And I would work, I had the angels around me my whole life, and I would feel their energy and their vibration all the time. So it always was like kind of like a level of out of the distortion and the disillusionment of the illusion and into the divine,
Mm.
but not having to go there. Me just taking myself into my space, my own space of it.
Yeah. And you're guiding other people to do the same thing, to find their mastery within themselves. And we're going to get into in a second as more people are joining. Uh, if y'all join late, y'all are in for an amazing session. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this call. Again, my sessions with Kaleena was through the roof, absolutely amazing. And I really felt it provided a huge step in this expansion that I know that I'm experiencing right now. I highly recommend her work. That's why she's on the show today. Um, but I want to mention there's probably going to be an activation that we're going to receive on the call. So I want you all to be aware that's happening. We'll probably open up to Q&A as well. That's coming through. And of course, we're going to go through the special offer a little bit later. Felicia's writing her sessions are life-changing. Felicia, I agree. And I barely say that on these calls. 100%, I agree. Spiritual mastery. Why are we having this conversation today?
Oh, wow. This is interesting. This is something I started teaching because it is a mastery. We're all back here to master something in this lifetime. We've mastered things before, but through my life and the experiences, my guides told me, Kaleena, you're here to teach from your experience, but also from your
Mhm.
mastery skills from the past lives. And to way show and to lead people back out of their false identity egos back to their sacred hearts. Because we're here to master our heart and love and that sacred space within it, because that's where everything lies. That's where our truth is and everything. So the spiritual mastery is mastering the divine self, leaving the false identity ego, the one that you've been programmed with, and coming back here to learn to find your authenticity. That is like a major part of my work, is to bring people back in, align them, leave all the junk behind. But we have to heal it first. We have to do that inner work, remove those woundings to become that authentic being that we were at birth. And we had nothing placed on us.
I want you to get into a little bit more because this, what you said is so important, and I don't want any of us to skip this, that we have to heal these things, but not leave any of it behind. What do you
Mhm.
think about
Um, there's there's a lot of people out there that do what they call the spiritual bypassing. They wake up and they're like, "Oh, I said my forgiveness, and I forgive that person. I know what they did to me." And none of that is the truth. It's what was done for you. And if you want to get from A to Z, okay, in your mastery, you've got to go through everything in between.
that?
Because if you don't follow the steps of the healing process of what's being revealed in the moment through either triggering or events, traumas, whatever's going on, if you go, oh, okay, I forgive that, I understand that, whatever, it's like you're on the surface of it, you're not diving deep into the wound.
Mhm.
And so it's so important for us when something is revealed to actually look at it and to see it and to feel it. Because if we don't feel, if we don't truly connect here into the heart with it and feel it for what it is and what it's showing us, we're not going to heal it.
Mhm.
And you know all about the spiritual bypassing, that there's a lot of people out there. They're
Well,
claiming to,
it's really inconvenient to go to those places that are just not in our comfort zone.
yeah.
And sometimes we do think that, oh, it's like, okay, done. That's clear. That's out of my system, but th- they won't really go away if we haven't had that intimacy with it. It's not about getting rid of it. It's about all of us coming home to that divinity, that light within us. And so none of those aspects or inconveniences um, will really get left behind. Now, the beautiful thing about the work that you do also is that, well, first of all, it's so impressive how, and I don't know how you do it and function all day. Yeah, when I was having my session with Kaleena, and I know that you do this when you do transmissions as well, and you're even reading for a collective like we have here on the call, that you're feeling who the audience is, either listening now or listening on the replay. And if we do get into a transmission or something, that it's not uncommon for you to feel what's actually happening in the hearts and the lungs and the livers and the minds or whatever's clearing or not clearing in the audience that you're with.
Hmm. Yeah, I am feeling a lot of throat right now.
Mm,
And so right now, that's the biggest thing that they're putting on me with people, and a lot of us on the planet have not actually been able to speak our sacred voice. I call it sacred voice. That's our divine self, and because we've always spoke from what we were taught, right? The programming. But when we really tune in, and again, like when you do the healing, the divine voice, the sacred voice comes online as well. So I'm really feeling that. I am a super sensitive empath. I feel everything. If I was dating someone and they were cheating on me, I would feel it. I
Mm,
feel everything. So it's something that I've been born with. Sometimes it's like, why do I get upset and I'm like, why do I have to feel that? And I get angry. So then I have to go into the anger and I have to heal that anger in love, because everything we do has to be in love to neutralize it.
mhm.
But it brings up my own pain of, when somebody is not faithful. So there I am, like, well, I had to feel bad. So I got to go into that part to find this is like part of the template from many lifetimes. It's not just this life. But how do I deal with that? It's a daily thing. And I'm constantly having to ground to release it, to see it, to feel it. If I walk in a grocery store, I have to. They always say, don't say you need a shield or you need to protect yourself or you're going to attract more. They always say that. But I still go
Mm,
on with my crystals. But I still feel everything anyway. I still feel it anyway. And so I just know that when I come out, that all those things that attached to me while I was in this space and place is not mine. And so
mhm.
I connect to Mama Gaia and I give it to her and she takes it from me, or I give it to Source Dissolved in Love. Like I taught you that process
Right.
as well.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
an amazing
is,
process.
yeah, but it can be painful.
Mhm. What's clearing in the clients that you're working with and your audience as you hold all of this? I understand that you're empathic, you feel what's coming through. Um, and again, you handle that so gracefully and so elegantly. Um, what's the effects for the people that are working with you?
Well, when I'm working with them and I feel this stuff, I have to point out, where I feel it on their body and what energy center it's connected to, and that helps me to be able to do the deep dive in the subconscious. So when we go into the subconscious to bring up the things that have to be revealed to be healed, like for yourself, when you thought you had already cleared some things
Hmm.
and things came up and you're like, I thought I did that, but it's still there. And my guides would not bring that through. Plus, I work with your guides as well. They would not bring that through if it wasn't still there. So when we bring that up to be healed, um, they have to go through the same process that you did, where we're going to go deep in the subconscious to feel the emotion of it, all right, to
Hmm.
have a triggered memory of it, so that it comes up and we can bring it in love and know that everything that happened was for us, not against us.
Hmm.
So they end up with their healing, they feel it come off. And of course I give them the tones and the codes and the geometries that come through to help release as well. But they still have to see it and feel it, and that's where they're doing
Right.
their work in the session.
Yeah, and your transmission in the light language, and again, the invitation of my light language to be sung, and your awareness of that, because I don't speak to anybody about that. It's been very private or very small circle about what comes through, what wants to come through sometime, and it's my own thing in relationship with it. But even the way that you saw that so clearly, and exactly where I was coming from, like where you told me it's coming from, is like yes, yes, yes. It's like how do you know? It was just so freaking amazing. Um, and that takes me also to, well, there's so many different places I want to take it because I want to get into live Q&A with the audience as well, and I can feel an activation building.
Yeah.
But what I want to get into also is that there's also this bridge that you provide, not just for the humans, but it's all interrelated because you do a lot of grid work or planetary work. Also, you go to places or you tune in. Um, I'd love it if you describe a little bit of what you're doing with Gaia as your grid keeping, if you will, or I'm not quite sure what you're calling it. I want to have tremendous amount of respect for the work that you do and how you do it, but also how that relates to us as individuals. What
Mhm.
that's mirroring for what's opening and what's transitioning in Gaia, what's must be a mirror for what's opening and transition within us.
Mhm. Okay, so when I do what is referred to as grid work, I travel to locations where they're very dense, and my guides will tell me, you have work here, you have work to do here. And they'll give me a place. For example, one time Isis came in. Okay, she comes in, and this form comes in, it's Isis, and says, you have work to do. In which I thought she said Pennsylvania. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to Pennsylvania for something. And then I heard laughter from all my guides, and they're like, no, peninsula. And I'm like, where's the peninsula? So I looked it up as Mexico. So I had to go into Mexico and go through, from Cancun all the way down to Palenque, all the way through all of these places where there's density, there has been war, there has been, slaughters of humanity.
Human sacrifice, yeah.
Yes, and of especially the divine feminine being demeaned in all of these lifetimes. I mean, I've been to Egypt, I've been all over, and I have to go and remove the density. When I touch something, literally my body starts going to convulsions, and it goes through that channel. I talked about the channel, and it goes straight back to sources up. And I see in my vision all the stuff that was previous that had happened as it's releasing. And sometimes I find the templates that have been put in the earth.
Hmm.
And so I have to remove the template and take this template out. And it looks just like a little microchip or something. And take
Hmm.
that out. And I work with the legions of light with that. And it gets dissolved. As soon as I give it to him, it gets dissolved and gets encased in something, goes straight back to source, dissolved in love. But then I activate the sacred sites. So I activate those same sites and open the field, open the quantumness and the energy, and bring them back online again. And
Hmm.
then from there, I go to the next one, the next one, and the next one. And what it does is it shifts the vibration and the frequency of that space and place, so the people that come there afterwards, they're not connecting with the density anymore. They're connecting with the next level.
Hmm.
And I know there's other people that do that work as well. So we all have a piece to the puzzle in that work.
It's definitely part of my work. I am blown away that you saw the micro. How big are the microchips that you see?
Well, it depends where I'm at. Some of them are mm, Some of them are smaller, like maybe this big, but some of them
Hmm.
could be big. And I've actually found really tiny ones too, really small ones. There depends on where I've been. The one that I did under the ocean, I had been taken down under the ocean. I pulled this one out literally at the same time my friend was with me, and she got a ding on her phone. Right at the time I pulled that out and gave to Legions of Light. I got home, and it was probably about, I don't know, the size of, I don't know what you would say, 2 feet by like maybe 3 or 4 feet.
Hmm.
I got home and someone had messaged me and said, we're under warning for tsunami. There was just an earthquake under the Indian Ocean. And I was like, what time did that happen? And he gave me the time. It was the exact time her phone dinged.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. So she's probably listening on here too.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I asked about that because 20 years ago, I was taken by my guides into this mountain range and they took me up. And when I got to the top, I saw all these microchips and told that I was going to be working in different lands. Um, and so when you talk about it, it's like, whoa, there's such resonance there. And again, being called to take people to and to do work and to guide and to share those experiences for whatever resonance that we get to embody so that that can be shared with a greater amount of people to demonstrate what's possible. So what I also greatly appreciate about you is that you're an embodied teacher. It's like you have to go through the experiences. It comes through you, and from that there's awareness, there's intelligence, there's compassion, there's the empathy, and there's knowing how to get from one side to the other, but honoring both the density and the lightness of it. Because how could you not?
Exactly. I feel like real way showers and teachers have got to go through this and experience this and then teach from our experience. But the other part for me is all the abilities that came online even more after my walk-in, I utilize those as well, and I teach what I know from everything that awakened at the cell level that I didn't have teachings in this lifetime to help people. And so I combine these other lives of mastery with the life now, to be able to be, the teacher. And for me, it's really hard to call myself a master. It's really hard to say that, because you get beat up by people. But all of us are masters in a way. So to have the empathy and to be able, like I told you earlier, I'm on crutches right now, but not knowing where that came from because
Mm,
it's from the previous life in this life before my walk-in, then I have to go into the empathy and the emotions and the feeling of that inner child, that person, before who I am now.
mm,
So I also understand when someone else has a walk-in what they're going through. And
right.
it's like an NDE as well. So I feel like we definitely have to take part in it as a human, but also being this spirit that comes in to guide and to way show and to heal.
Yeah. This is so important, y'all. And I'm going to get to the big point that I want to get to in just a little bit. We're going to take live Q&A a little bit. There's going to be a transmission, activation, and channeled message. It's building up. It's beautifully. We'll get into the special offer of Kaleena in just a little bit, also what she's offering and what that provides. Y'all are going to want to participate in. But again, we'll get that into a little bit. If you do want to ask your personal question or have a question, you could type it into the chat box or raise your hands um, on the Zoom screen. And again, we'll open up to those in just a little bit. So, Kaleena, all of this that we're talking about and your capability and my different experiences, and as we're bringing culmination to it, again, the translation is what you're able to do. It's like through this frequency of osmosis, if you will. I wish that easily sometimes, and perhaps it can be in different ways, that we are being called to our spiritual mastery. What does that mean for someone listening to the call right now or someone listening to the replay?
You're being called to align with your divine self.
Hmm.
That's
And
it.
what are the steps to get into that?
So many steps.
Right? Yes.
um, but however, there's a simplicity to it when
Right.
we don't let our ego get in the way, when we don't judge ourselves. And, like I said before, everything that comes forth in traumas, events, triggers are bringing forth all that needs to be revealed to be healed. And when we can look at it in a way that it's for us, not against us,
Hmm.
that's the most important thing. And to not project back onto other people that they have done stuff to us. It's so important to get, again, all of that ego stuff out of the way, all of it. And then we can flow in to the good stuff, the easy stuff. It gets easier and easier as we go, though. I
Hmm.
really found that it's so much easier as we go. Um, there's also a level of the field of intelligence that all of you have within you that when you connect with your divine human self, you will understand the processing of events in your life, from the conscious to the unconscious to the subconscious. There is an array of activity within all of you that has to be seen on so many levels that is not going to distort you in any way anymore. Your development is up to you.
Hmm.
Your ascension is up to you. Your choices are always yours. However, remember that when you choose to live from God's divine will, everything is easier and lighter in love.
Thank you, Kaleena.
The channeling just starts. Here we go.
I see. I can feel the benevolence in that and the intelligence, my God. Who are you channeling it? Because you channel multiple consciousness. Do you tune in? Were you aware of who that might have been?
Hmm. They normally show themselves to me, but there's like in this very moment, there's three very tall white beings here in the
I
room.
got the chills. Yeah,
And those are the ones that I work with the most. Um, hmm,
they're huge. Wow.
yeah. And they're like running their frequency through me right now. It's why I'm starting to spin. I'm actually starting to create the sacred space for everyone right now because I know the transmission's coming. Um, but they're what they're doing is they're going from the ground up so that they can ground me and anchor me so I don't fly off.
Nice.
All right. So yes, very, very tall, white beings of light. Mm, okay. I was asking if there's something they want to say just yet. They said no, we're just holding the space at the moment. So they're waiting.
Okay, well, let's get into some Q&A then. We'll drop in. Gloria, let's start with you. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, John and Kaleena. I can tell that this is really powerful. I don't actually have a very specific question other than I feel like things are changing and shifting inside of me, and I have windows into parts of myself that are new and exciting for me, and I want to embrace them. So I guess I was just wondering if Kaleena might have any impressions or insights into my field and what's next for me, or my gifts coming online, or advice. Um, so that's kind of where I am.
Blessings, hello, thank you. What we would like to say for you is to allow yourself to see the divinity as a whole within you because you are not doing that completely yet. Does this make sense for you?
Yes, I feel like I'm beginning to taste it, and I want a big
Precisely.
bite.
Precisely. And what we are saying is exactly what she said earlier is you cannot go from A to Z without doing everything in between.
Hmm.
And there is, well, we will say, an acceleration of events upon your planet that are pushing everyone into their awakening and their expansion of their true self. However, you are still identifying yourself with the old version of you. Do you understand?
Yes, I can see I'm sort of on the verge of taking a leap.
Precisely. And this is the time now where if you make that conscious decision that I'm ready to release and let go, it will bring you forth into a higher capacity of your own knowledge as you are becoming. And the reason we are using this is because it is one of the levels of the process. You are becoming. A lot of the, what we would say, those that have been awakened for a long time are now leveling up into the I know. But many of you have awoken recently or within the last 10 years. And this is okay. Maybe 15 years. You are in the stage of becoming. And so what we say is hurrah to you
Hmm.
because you're at a level of acceptance that the divine within you is ready to emerge and you must let go of the old. Does this make sense for you?
Yeah, it's a tiny bit scary. I don't know why. I want to hold on to the
We will,
density. It's
because you want to hold on to the comfort of the identity of who you were brought up and think you are. You are so much bigger than us. Me kiroshtu kurashna mayanana achant iraski. So turashna enana heheya. You're in your head. Do you
mm.
understand?
Oh yeah, yeah. I need to get into my heart. Yes,
Precisely. Mayanama.
thank you. Mm, thank you.
Blessings, Gloria. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, Kaleena.
Wow, can y'all feel that? I feel that so strongly. So Kaleena, okay, it's easy to I won't say it's easy to say and let go. It's one thing being able to be aware that someone else needs to release and let go. But as the one that's needing to release and let go, how can sometimes we think we are. Sometimes we think we're doing our best. It's how do we know when the reality that we're in the integrity of our intention or when we're holding ourselves back and afraid to leave our comfort zones?
We would like to answer this if this is okay with you.
Please.
Integrity is one thing, love is another.
Ah,
When you're in love with your divine self,
mm,
but also in acceptance and in love with the human self that you have become and are becoming, this is when the shift and change in your reality happens. Does this make sense?
it makes a lot of sense to me, yes.
Precisely. So if we do not love an aspect of ourselves that we have been in this present life and in the present moment, we will have a blockage to actually letting go, clearing, healing something. Because many times there's that little twinge of the ego that gets in the way still. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We are trying to be as precise as possible, but in simplistic terms. Maar goed meer sterren ne hem pushta, maar urna. Release.
Mm,
It is about frequency and vibration. So if we take you in wholeness, in love, into that vibration and frequency of love, in the tone that we just brought through, you feel a release. All of you should have felt some release just now. Did you?
I did, yes.
Yes. It is about frequency. Love is a high frequency. Joy is a high frequency. So if you take yourself in that space and place of love, of joy, of bliss, on the knowingness that that is what source is, that is your energy and vibration that you always are before you dumb yourself down,
Mm,
you can have your releases, you can have your healings much easier. Yes?
yes.
You're
Oh my
lit.
God, amazing. Wow. Y'all are feeling it, right? I am. I am. I can feel you all feeling it as well. Wow, so beautiful. Y'all, if we stop the show right here, we can just hold on to this and just continue, but we've got more. So y'all don't leave anywhere. And there's more, there's still, I believe, a transmission that's coming through. But again, we're gonna play with this. Yes, can be on the ordinary. That's what we call it. Yes. Um, we're gonna get into more Q&A, y'all. I want to go into the special offer first. Um, because what Kaleena's offering, there's this and so much more. And the entrainment that happens, the self-empowerment, the self-love
Mm.
that's engendered through this, that's really the shift of everything. It's all right there. So it's April, please put the link for the special offer in the chat box. Or Chris, there you go. Y'all click on the chat box underneath if you don't see it right now, and you'll find the blue link to Kaleena's special offer. For whatever reason you don't find it, you can open up a new browser and still keep this open. And go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Kaleena 32. And that's Keleena and the number 32. And it'll open up the same page to the same um, opportunity to swim in these frequencies in the way that you, Kaleena, just uniquely and so beautifully and so directly brings it. And I'd have to say simplistically, but I mean that it really from how intelligent it is that it can be so simple that it has to carry a certain frequency of intelligence to be able to transmit in that way. Um, Kaleena, will you explain to everybody what they're going to receive by going deeper into this offer?
Oh, yeah. And I've never done this before, just so
That
everybody
thing.
knows.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will share my screen and you can guide us through what everybody's going to receive.
Yeah.
So let me go on here. Um, yeah, this is the first time of a summit for Kaleena participating in any form in this way. So absolutely amazing. Um,
Yeah.
so Kaleena, your spiritual mastery class. So starting with that.
So the mastery class, this is one of the most um popular master classes I have from my Patreon. I don't normally share my master classes outside of it. So this is the first time I've ever done it, but it is one that is so powerful in this master class. You're going to master how to remove so many different layers and forms of energies, cords, negative energies, entities, things that people don't think that they have on them. They're there. I see them with my eyes. And but it's in a way that you will never find on YouTube. Someone's never going to go, if you go to healer, they're not going to know how to do it. This is something that I got the download for, and everyone on my class that was in the class participating, they all could not believe the amount of stuff that came off of them. So
Mm,
this is teaching tools. I teach you, that's a way shower. We teach you on of these methods in there, I take you through it. You will feel the stuff coming off. You will always have it. And it's like I said, it's very powerful. It's very popular. It helps you to release the things that are holding you back from your true identity and your authentic self. So
mm. This is amazing. And y'all, it's when I worked with Kaleena and when she offered this, I knew that this was amazing in it by itself. But I also am aware of how we're used to doing packages and going deeper in this. And Colleen's like, but you just don't understand how powerful this is. It's like this by itself, everybody who participates is gonna receive so much. And I go, yeah, but what else can we add to it so that people can go even deeper with it? Because I want them to have a relationship with you. I want them to get to know you so that they keep following you, so they keep going back to your YouTube pages, so that they go to your events because your work is freaking amazing and it needs to be shared with more people. And so Kaleena provided more. So that's the first part of the same package. Then we go to the second item, healing the witch wounds. Talk more about this. This is so intriguing to me.
this is so popular with the women. This is a webinar I did a couple years ago. I got that download for this. Because also what I find when I work with women is so much of their stuff is always connected to the past lives of being, having being our authentic self and having that taken away from us through death, through being hung, through being our throat slit, through having our wombs injected with horrible things,
Mm,
for being in our authenticity in that time and space. And there are so many lives, and it's also connected to the lineage of these women and their mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers, everyone going through this. It's in your
mm,
DNA.
mm,
So if you're awake in this life, you're the one in your family that's releasing this for the women, for your future generations as well, so that your daughters don't have to go through all of it. So it is, again, this is one of my biggest webinars. This is not one of my Patreon things. It was one of my biggest webinars. It's still bought all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give my biggest two things that people love. Not that my other stuff's not good, other stuff is too, but these two really are needed in this moment of now. Um, and even men have purchased it for themselves because they've been women as well, and they have
mm,
felt stuff come off of them and out of them. So it is was a webinar. It is non-linear. I do healing, I do clearing, the activations, the tones, everything. Oh, women at the end of this were crying. They were seeing so much, and
mm.
just so everybody knows, you will go through an emotional, mental, physical clearing, and you could be possibly a few days to a couple months letting this all come up, because that's what my work is. It is to activate and initiate healing in humanity, and I go through your DNA at the cellular level.
Wow. Do you find that healing this witch wound, if you will, is also related to the priestess work that a lot of women are so attuned to?
Yes, yes. Absolutely. And the priestess, there's such different descriptions of a priestess. A priestess were women that were, they did not work in a church or anything. They
Mhm.
connected and only got their information directly from source. That's a
Mm.
priestess and the original priests.
Nice.
And so we were chastised for
Mm.
connecting with source and being who we are and using our magic and our abilities, our gifts that we were born with.
Mm.
And that's what that's connected to. So if in this life you're afraid of being seen or heard as a woman, that's big. It's very much connected to these past lives where you were murdered.
Wow.
Um, and
It's
your children, if you had girls, they were, I've seen so many of the babies murdered too, if you came from one of these women.
I can feel so much coming up from my heart, and it's not me. I'm feeling it from y'all. I don't know. It's really interesting, but I'm feeling just even having this conversation,
Mhm.
just energy is moving in such a beautiful way. And how wonderful again that we get to rise each other up in these conversations. Even in this free webinar, it's happening and things are releasing, but to have the opportunity to go deeper, to really focus, to be in relationship and intimacy with that lives inside of you, and to alchemize it into a potential that's ready to be awakened with new outcomes. Um, Absolutely fantastic. So, all right, so we've got this, y'all. And then Kaleena was like, okay, John, I'll give you more, I'll give you more. Then she added a bonus to this. And so, what's the online membership free trial, Kaleena? What can people expect in there?
I have on my Patreon, there are 5 levels. The 5th level is the masterclass. So that one is a course that's paid for. So I'm not offering the trial of that one for free because it's not fair to my members.
Of course.
But you can choose levels 1, 2, 3, or 4 to try them for 7 days for free. And you just, if you don't like it, you will actually get access to all the past things that are on there as well, not just what's happening this month. Because once you get in there, you can start diving in. And I can't even remember how many hundreds of videos I have on there. But you can go in and listen to them, receive the healing, receive the activations. So the
Mm,
first one is only um, the first, you would be smart to do level 4. Let's just put it that way, because
okay.
level 4, you get everything below it.
Nice.
Yeah. And also, if you want to try that, if you look at my schedule on my Patreon, it shows you when level 4 things are happening so you can actually join the live.
Mm, okay, amazing. Y'all, everything in this package, it's $111, two payment option. You'll get the downloads and the videos right away, and you'll be able to go into the Patreon and see what resonates for you, is calling to you as well. And again, Kaleena has generously made that available at our request, because again, I just want you to dive into her work because it was so impactful for you, and these are the type of experiences that just light me up. And I get so excited about sharing when I have those embodied experiences, like I want to share it with all of y'all. And that's really why we started the show. But anyway, that's another story. Y'all take advantage of the special offer. Again, the link is in the chat box. If you're listening to the replay, it's right underneath the video where you're watching, or you can always access the special offer at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Kaleena32, and it'll take you to that same page. All right, I love this. Let me see. It's Christina Lukens. My light language is flowing right now. Beautiful clearing. Thank you. Jane's writing, I can attest as a Patreon member for the mastery tier. It's super powerful and can be used all the time, especially if you work with other people or do grid work. And there's just so many people that are just singing your praises on here. So that's epic, y'all. And we're going to get into more again. Y'all have experienced a little bit, but let's see what spirit and what the guides want to bring through right now. Um, as we continue this, Kaleena, let's go into a little bit more Q&A if that's okay with you. Um, and let's go to Lauren first. Hey, Lauren, welcome, and let's get you to unmute, please.
Hi. Hello there, John. Hello, Keleena. Thank you for taking my call. It's the middle of the night in South Africa, and I just had to get up to be with you guys. So thank you.
Amazing.
I my question is that sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. it's been a little while that I've been feeling as though my light language and my connections to dragons and all these wonderful things have gone into kind of a parking bay. And I would love to hear if you have anything to guide me. You know, am I in a holding bay, or is it due to the low vibration of my current work, or is there anything perhaps you could guide me, because at the moment I'm feeling as though it's stuck a little bit.
Yes, yes, we're going to answer that for you. You must know that I speak the dragon light language.
I do, yes.
Okay. Madalkurianama ashna sandakia. Okay. Yes, precisely. What we'd like to say to you and to all of you to understand, when you feel like things have gone stagnant within yourself or in your process, it is because it is a time for you to slow down so that the human physical vessel can catch up with the acceleration of light that is amplifying within you. Therefore, you're being pushed into what we may call sleep mode, so that you can release still more of that which does not serve you anymore. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your patterns. Do you understand what we are saying?
Yes.
In order for you to move forward, all of this influential information that you have been holding on, that is a distortion, but it wasn't at the time, but it is now, must be released in order for you to move forward in wholeness. In wholeness, we mean as the divine human within the physical vessel, all at once. So the physical and the ego wants to move ahead, yes?
Yeah.
But you're being held at because you're tired,
Mm.
not being able to do things, what's happening to me. In order for the divine expression of the self to come into the next level of its true, authentic being, you must let go of the pieces, parts, the trivial things that are no longer serving. Are you feeling like you're doing that now?
I truly want to do that, but I am not 100% sure that I am.
We will say that there are parts of you that are changing, all right?
Mm.
Just as she has spoken earlier about the triggers, the traumas, the events, things that come up in your daily life, all right, that are being shown to you for you.
Mm.
These are things that you must see within your field of your existence, all right, in all your bodies. You must understand, if you wish, that on the level of migration that you're having now, it also matches the level of the flow that's coming in. And does that seem strange for us to say that to you? Yes, I'm sure it does. Because you're in an accelerated mode, but you're in a slow mode at the same time.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it feels like a holding bay. Yeah.
Yes, there's parts of you that want to go, 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 but you cannot go, go, go. No one can go, go, go when the ego wants you to go, go, go. You
Mm.
will flow
Mm.
when you're ready and when the ego is not in the way. Your own disruption to go forward is only because you are creating it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, there are old templates that you are still releasing within yourself, beliefs, patterns, conditions you've placed upon your own self, judgment.
Mm.
You're judging yourself in this very moment. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So allow yourself to go through your transformation because that's what you're in. You're inside the cocoon, and when you're ready, you will burst out.
Mm.
Thank you.
Sami.
Mm.
Mm. Thank you.
Lauren, thank you for coming on. And remember from the conversation earlier, what's the frequency? What's the intensity that shifts it all? into the higher vibrational state. Integrity is one aspect. Remember, love, 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 loving yourself. Even as we judge ourselves, love. As we question ourselves, love. Even if things aren't coming through, love.
Mm.
And holding that truth within ourselves. And as I speak it to you, of course, I'm speaking it to myself as well. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for bringing it
Thank
in.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Kaleena, something that's coming through as Laura was sharing her experience of being stuck is that after my session with you, and I've been in a deep practice with a communication and a field that has been presenting to me for some while, and I'm being more direct with it, more in relation with it, is that again, I thought I was in that holding pattern also. And yes, there's an aspect of it that's true, but it also came through like I felt like there was a blank slate. And the way that I was used to communicating was not the same as I couldn't reach into that bag of tools. It wasn't there because of the shift that was happening through me also, that was inviting me to nurture what I have now instead of trying to be what I was in the past. Because again, the limits, some of those limitations are no longer there. The way that I am invited to see and to be is from a new place of existence because the one that existed before isn't there anymore in the same way.
Precisely. May we go ahead and answer in
I
this?
was hoping that you would, yes.
Yes. Your bag of tools is non-existent anymore, the ones that you did have, so leave that baggage behind. Yes,
Yeah.
that is something you all say on your earth. Remember that you've gone through a death process.
Mhm.
Every year, all of you go through a death process, and some of you more than once. So you're coming out, the clean slate, you call it, the clean slate. It's there for you, for your new creation. And right now, in this very moment, creation on your planet is big.
Mhm.
It's expensive. So do you still dive into the old bag of tools that you had, or do you allow yourself to flow in the new gifts from your creator source that have been gifted to you, which is clarity, correct?
Mhm.
Non-judgment towards yourself and others, self-love, a new existence in the quantum field as you are expanding with the light that has been given and truly aligning more to your divine spirit. You are changing from within,
Mhm.
and everything outside is you is changing. So you are changing your frequency and vibration. And as you have done this, you are now attracting those of higher frequency and vibration. And that which you will do that is of higher frequency and vibration. Those were the codes that she gave you.
Mhm.
And she gave this to you twice. But what you must understand is you do the inner work. Yes? You've had many deaths this last year. Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we know. And what you must realize is within that, within the death, is the birth.
Mhm.
And you've come through this beautifully. And now you're attracting these new frequencies and vibrations that are going to excel you and accelerate you in this process of doing, becoming, and knowing. What we would like to say is believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Watch what others say to you. Because there is a divine aspect of yourself that used to allow others
Mhm.
to slide their information in and maybe distort your decision. Does this make sense?
It does.
And now it is time for you to make the decisions on your own, from
Mhm.
your heart, in that same vibration of love and joy and bliss. Your movement forward has begun.
Mhm.
And this is all we will say. Pakua nasite na shiara ana, fahut na marakir siente, mora hai fur.
Mm.
Nia sanaturam yaraham yakam natuanayaru. Let go of those little particles you are still holding on to right now. Shoo.
Mm.
Maya.
Wow. I'm so beautiful. Thank you. The resonance is just impeccable. Impeccable. Are you open to taking a couple more callers?
Oh, sure. Just so everybody knows, when my head goes back, I'm actually clearing things. So
Yeah, I saw
it's,
that. I want to honor where you are as well. So it's, yeah,
yeah,
that's why
I'm
I'm
okay.
checking in on you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, Crystal is saying that she's listening from Belgium. She had to stay up also. It's 3 o'clock in the morning where she is.
Oh,
So, Crystal, thank you so much. It's
so.
wonderful to have you here. Um, all right, let's go now to Shashira. And if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please correct me so we can honor you. So
This
that
is
I may honor you.
Suchira.
Suchira, hi.
Thank you. So I've been given this message that I need to be crafting my message for the recipient, that it comes without charge, and I should be delivering it kindly, without attachment, tactfully, and with consideration.
Hmm.
Okay,
I'm
so
feeling that too.
hello.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'm feeling is your throat right now. Okay, really big. And I don't feel like you're in your truth with this, what you're saying. So may I ask you, where did you get that information? From yourself, your higher self, a being, or
No,
somebody else?
an astrologer said that, I'm supposed to have some soul wounds,
Yeah.
and
Okay, you don't have
another
to say
person.
anymore. You don't
Okay.
have
Yeah.
to say anymore. Okay, so what I'm feeling from, okay, this is interesting because I just talked to someone about this today with astrology. Astrology is about overcoming things, okay? And even if you're told something in astrology or any session and you're told you're supposed to do something, this is where you use a level of discernment. Okay, you have to feel in your heart. I am getting pain. I'm getting your solar plexus squeezing. I'm getting your heart. I'm getting pain on my heart and the throat chakra. We have to remember that these people are here to give us this information that can guide us, but not to tell us what to do. All right. That goes with any healer, psychic, whatever. It doesn't matter in the spiritual community. I've dealt with them myself, but little did they know the level that I'm at where I can see through their layers and know what they're trying to do. Okay. A lot of times they want to bring you back. They want to keep pulling you back, pull you back, pull you back. We want you to expand and go forward. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to feel right now. Okay. I want to give you something. Everybody can do this. I want you to go ahead and do you feel energy? Can you feel
Little
energy?
bit, little
Okay.
bit.
So I want to have everybody just now, this is something I do on my YouTube videos. I do it all the time. I just want you to take a deep breath into the belly like a baby and exhale out the mouth. And I want you to say out loud, I now align
I now align
and drop into my divine sacred heart.
and drop into my divine sacred heart.
Okay. And for all those you're saying that, you will feel, if you feel energy, you will feel your sacred heart expanding. Now, this is where I want you to focus, and I want you to ask yourself, your higher self, focusing right there. Am I supposed to charge for my work? Go ahead, say it out loud.
Am I supposed to charge for my work?
What are you feeling in your physical body?
I get a no.
Now, is it your ego saying that? How is your body responding?
Like no particular sensation, just
Okay.
dull, numb.
I want to tell you what I feel because I feel you. So when I work with somebody, I become your energy. Okay. I'm in your field. All right. So when you ask that question, your heart expanded. And so when your heart expands or there's a level of joy or bliss, and I feel it, okay, that actually is your inner being saying, yes, okay? But I cannot convince you of that. So you need to work deeper on being able to release the things that are holding you back from feeling your divinity. Does that make sense? When you can feel that level, and I feel pain all over in you. I feel your solar plexus, which is control. Okay, so if someone's trying to control you, right, in your life, at any point in your life, as a child to now, okay, you're going to have squeezing in the solar plexus. You're going to have stomach issues. I'm feeling your heart. I'm feeling the anahata heart, not the high heart. I'm getting pressure there. I'm pushing there. And I'm feeling your throat chakra really deeply. It's like really hurting me. Okay. These are things you're still holding on to, things that are patterns of listening. They're saying of listening to someone else. I'm going to let the guides talk right now, because we're going to just dive into this just a little bit so that you understand something about yourself. Okay, just asking them to take that off me. We wish for you to take a look at the patterns and behaviors within yourself of always listening to somebody else telling you what is right, what is wrong, good behavior, bad behavior. Do you understand what we're saying right now?
Yes.
Growing up, where you should go, leading you into a direction that maybe wasn't truly the direction you wanted to be in or go in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You must understand that you are still coming online. Do you understand this?
No.
Coming online means allowing all of yourself to come in full capacity with your abilities at the level that you are at, where you are creating in joy and love. So therefore, your abilities that come on, and you are going to be expressing yourself with those abilities, or the work that you are calling spiritual work, your divine work, what you're here to serve with. Okay, this is where we want you to tune in to see and feel, am I doing exactly what's meant for me to do? Or is this only partial? Is this only partial service? Is this everything that's going to make what I do bigger and better than what I'm doing now? That not only serves humanity, but serves myself. Because where have you found your self-worth? Do you understand what we are saying?
So who am I asking, or where am I asking?
You are asking yourself, your higher self. You must tune into your spirit self. You may do this before you go in meditation. But my dear, what we would like you to know is there are still many things that need to be revealed to be healed, because you have many blockages upon your physical body, your mental body, and your emotional body. Do you understand what we are saying?
And how do I get to remove those blockages?
It's doing the inner wounding healing, that which must need to be revealed that will be healed. That is the
Can I?
work that is the work that Kaleena conducts, but many other people do as well.
So I've already purchased the
offer.
package that I've already done. So maybe that's what we need to work on when we set up the session.
You will listen to those, and it will help you and assist you in many of the things you're going to see. It's going to also open you up to another level of your divine self, where you're going to be able to feel energy clearer than you do now. What we would like to say also is there's a level of distortion in your field. And it is not something that's bad, because everyone has it, unless you've been doing inner work for years and years and years. Not everybody is fully and wholly complete and pure. If you were, you'll be walking as light. All right? So we would like to go ahead and give you a little bit of a transmission really quick to open you up a little bit. But we would like to say again to all of you, please use discernment when somebody is telling you something that you should be doing. Please. It is always only guidance, even what comes through right now from us through this conduit. You can take everything that resonates and leave the rest behind. We are not here to convince you of anything or tell you anything that you do not already know within yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and focus on your heart. Karanashen, sasatera nahura, machanaki. Align. Sha, sha. We leave you in love and grace.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kaleena. Shushira, blessings to you. And for confirmation, just before Kaleena said anything, my throat swelled up shut immediately when you spoke. And for confirmation,
Yeah.
my guidance to you, just to add a little bit more, and maybe this is for many of us on this call, is if we can ask in those places where the truth is that whatever karma we believe that we are still indebted to, that perhaps that's already been paid with interest and interest on top of that, and that it's just time to let it go and to burn those contracts because they are no longer valid, period. Perhaps. And choose it if it resonates for you as truth, to have a relationship with that and a new agreement that you can form. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. But I was compelled to share it for all of us. Blessings, Sashira. I'm so glad that you're going deeper with Kaleena. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for adding that.
Yeah, it was coming through very strongly. April, put the link for the special offer in the chat box one more time. I want to be sure that everyone has access to it, y'all. I am so excited to be able to out Kaleena into this world and in our community. Um, um, wow, 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 what's coming through. Again, the special offer, you'll get some of her most profound packages, most impactful guidances, and again, non-linear teachings, and you can feel it in the light language here. You can feel it in the transmission, in the truth, and of course, the replays will keep bringing it up on this replay as well. So again, the opportunity to go into that is right there in the special offer. Kaleena, I want to call on Greg right now. Greg, it's if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself. And what is your question for Kaleena?
Thank you so much. Keleena, what is limiting me from fully being my God self?
What is limiting you from being your full your God self?
God self.
Okay. Let's see what they're going to say. First of all, what we would like to say is there is a level of discomfort within yourself. And you may not recognize this or understand this. And many feel this level of discomfort when they have to leave things behind that they have had attachments to through their lives. And you can be 20 or you can be 50. It doesn't matter. We would also like to say there is a distortion that is placed in your ego development that is now not allowing you. But please remember that you are always your God self. It's your authenticity that you're actually asking about. Does this make sense?
I'm not completely sure if it does, but maybe partly. Yes, partly.
And do you understand that you are always your God self?
Oh yes. Oh yes. No, I understand that. I was wondering what it's fully limiting me from fully being my God self, which I know I am my God self.
Yes, it's the limitations that you're placing upon yourself. through your ego distortions and identities. Does that make sense?
Not completely, to be honest.
That which is within you is outside of you. That which is above you is below you. You are all that you are.
Mhm.
Where is your belief in that?
I do believe fully that I'm my God self. I just feel like um, I'm not always actualizing that, I guess.
Precisely. How can you actualize that if you're allowing the ego to get in the way? Do you look at how you're judging yourself?
Boy, no, I don't know how I'm judging myself.
Do you ask questions of how can I be my God self fully? When we ask that question, then we are actually judging ourselves as not being there.
Mhm.
For all of you, this is something you need to understand. When you ask a question like this, there's a judgment behind it. So
Mhm.
where's the wounding of the judgment?
Let's see.
Mm.
You must go deeper into this and look at how you were judged or how you judged others in your life. There
Mhm.
are things that need to be revealed to be healed. And when you're in that knowingness, you already say, oh, I know I'm my God self. But if you do truly know this, you would not ask this question. Do you understand what we are saying?
Uh-huh.
Can you look deeper into the judgment of a child to now? Where it comes from, where it distorts your knowingness and takes you into your analytical thinkingness.
Mhm.
Does this make sense?
Um, it makes partial sense, Kaleena. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can really put my finger on what they're saying or you're saying.
You will not be able to put your finger on it unless you dive deep into the layers of your wounds
Okay,
to
thank
find the distortions of the things that need to be healed. This is what we are trying to say. And again, when you are asking a question about yourself,
you.
where is your value? Where is your self-worth? What are you judging? It is all connected to the lower chakras. It is connected to the earth human being you have been, how you grew up, who you were trained to be. It is also connected to the level of consciousness you are at.
Mhm.
You are your
Mhm.
God self. Your authenticity has been coming online. You need to believe. You need to receive. You need to allow and to surrender. If you wish.
Mhm.
And we will say one more time, do you understand what we are saying?
Yes,
Yes?
thank you so much.
Yes. Take your focus into your wounds of the past, from childhood to now. Allow yourself to feel them. Bring them into your heart. Let them be revealed. And
Okay.
fill them with love. Fill them with the love and that high vibration and frequency of the God self that you are, the vibration that you exist in and are at all times when you allow yourself to be who you are. Mor unama. Open, receive, allow, transform. Shama.
Mm. Wow. Every time you do it, I feel these chills coming up my spine and this energy running through. Greg, I highly recommend you come back and listen to the replay. We'll post the
Thank you
replay.
so
It'll be up
much.
in a few hours later. The video will be up for that. As you listen, listen from your heart.
Yeah.
Listen from your heart. Drop in to the heart
Mhm.
and just receive without trying to understand, perhaps. And then come back and listen again and maybe go in from understanding in that place after you receive without having the expectation. Because, right, that is also, how am I not God? Well, you've just created an expectation of what God is supposed to be. And now your mind's trying to figure out so that you can receive it so it can be received. And it's a judgment that you're not already that. So it's just, it's this beautiful knot that you can just pull one string. It's like, there it is.
Yeah.
But we don't see that because we think it needs to be something else, or we're not doing something right, or the world isn't really showing up in the way that it's supposed to be. Because if God were really here, then I would be a certain way. But God's saying, but you already are this way. Stop trying to stop chasing yourself and come home
Mhm.
and receive the love that you are, my brother. Know that you're seen in it and held in it, and that we want it. We need it.
Mm.
Whereas we see the divine in you, you remind us of the divine in us.
Reflection.
Reflection, reflection. Thank you
That
so
was
much, Greg.
that was
Thank
a
you
good
so much.
question. That
Fantastic question. Blessings, brother. Yeah, come back and listen. I promise. Yeah.
No, Kaleena, thank you so much.
you. I never know what they're going to say, but that was such a good question because it really, you go behind, and you find the root of it. And
Yeah.
that's what's needed. And that's why when I go into people's subconscious, that's what they're doing. They're finding the root, the seeds and the root.
And this is for all of us. It's like I'm
Mhm.
going in also. It's like, oh yes. Where am I judging? Where am I having expectations? Yes, just remind me, remind me, remind me, so that I be more clear. Why? Because we can. And I know because I can that relationship gets engendered for me in a more profound way. And okay, wonderful. I get to be with the divine. And what happens then? What happens then? I get to bring that consciousness back into my human form and give from my overflow. And y'all, we're all climbing in this human body and in your consciousness because you can't help but to be of service as you accelerate, as you ascend. That the wave of your love is going to come in to sweep others into the truth that you're engendering, that you're embodying, that you're remembering, and we're all bringing each other home. Go ahead, Kaleena.
Yeah, like the guides are saying, please remember that no matter where you are, you're always in service anyway.
Beautiful. Yes.
Okay, whether you're awake or not, you're in service to somebody else all the time and
Mhm.
to yourself. So, yeah,
Yeah.
they're just giving that like ding ding reminder.
Thank you. Yes, yes. It's so true. Um, so resonance in that. Um, again, y'all, the link for the special offer is in the chat box. It's highly, 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 highly recommended. We're going to run the replay the rest of the week through the weekend. We'll send weekend replays out. Replays can always be found on the ontheordinaryshow.com/replay. You won't miss it.
Can I
Uh,
say something really quick about that, John?
yes, please.
When John was like, when I got the email saying, yeah, what's your offer and stuff, I was like, oh no, John, I don't need to make any money. That's not what it's about. I need to reach people. I was just like, no. So, yeah, but then when they discussed how, this platform can reach the people and the work can continue through what I'm giving, and that are some of my best things, then I understood. But also there's an energy exchange for John's time, my time, and I'm always giving myself away, which is self-worth. So
Hmm.
even I'm still working on that for me.
Well, and again, for me, and y'all, I'm so glad we're having this conversation because again, every show is a special offer, right? And yes, we monetize the platform. We get to bring these free conversations and these teachings and this vibrational platform into so many people's lives. And as we receive, we can't help but to become the reflections of that in other places. But I know also the special offers as you go deeper, as there's a part of you that says yes to what's being presented to, for example, here to go deeper with Kaleena. There's a depth of exchange and commitment that takes place, not because we're asking you to commit, but because you're saying yes to that co-creation that's taken place. And we all get to support each other. I mean, the depths of transformation that are offered through these transmissions and by being in resonance of truth in this way, we all get to support each other as we expand. And that expansion happens through an energy that I like to call prosperity. And it could be a prosperity of love, a prosperity of health, a prosperity of community, financial prosperity that ripples out to affect others
Yeah.
bigger ways. So it's all a reflection, as we talked about earlier on the call. We could be integrity, but it's love, love. And how's it choosing to expand? How is it choosing to well up? How can it be facilitated in its expansion as well? So there's so much that comes through different exchanges. And all we ask for is an email for you guys to sign up and receive our emails. And that's really the only true request for these exchanges. But what's possible beyond that, depending on where your heart and your consciousness is calling you at the moment,
Yeah.
that's up to you, but I know what's offered.
But I just wanted to say that so that everybody knows that I'm still, even though that I can be at this high frequency and channeling all these different beings and aspects and different levels of communication and have these abilities, there's
Mm.
still that little human part of me that's going, oh no, I just need to give it away. So I still am working with my own self-worth. And
Well, and Shashir, who came on earlier, well, I'm supposed to give
exactly.
work away. And it's like, wait, hold on a second.
Mhm.
Who's affecting the collective most dramatically at this moment? Big corporation, pharma, oil and gas, automobile,
Yeah.
advertising, media. It's billions, Amazon, and they're impacting
Yes.
the world through their financial resources, and we're consuming those financial resources. So what would happen if Kaleena's platform, if other speakers' platform, if this platform, if your platform had that type of abundance and that much influence? Where would we be guiding our educational systems? Where would we be guiding our children into facilitating, not just sustaining what's possible on Earth, but thriving on Earth? Forget sustainability, but really thriving and accelerating of what's possible. And so we're calling each other up to that level of prosperity. And what's being offered here, again, just on this call, is the prosperity of like consciousness and community where we get to raise each other up. What you choose to do with that prosperity and how you choose to invest it and earn interest on it, that's entirely up to you. But at least we leave you with that at the very least.
Yes.
Mm. Kaleena, you're amazing. Oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you've
For
done,
you.
the transmissions, everything else. I know it's a normal day in the day of Kaleena, but for us, it's such a gift. Thank you for what you do. I can't wait to have you back on the show. I'm so excited for everybody who's going to go deeper with you in the special offer or find you online in other ways or work with you directly. Um, but again, it's been a blessing to get to share you uh, with our community here. And thank you for what you're doing.
And thank you. It's been a blessing to be with everybody that's here.
Mm.
We're all on this journey together. We're all one.
Yeah, we are. And blessings to all of y'all. Oh, this is not an amazing transmission today, y'all. Oh my goodness. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Again, the replay will be up. You know where to find it. The special offers in the chat box again. Um, I love y'all. Thank you for allowing me this space. Um, to be able to, with a lot of humility, come in, but also with so much play and excitement about what we're creating together. So I love playing with y'all. I see you. I love you. Namaste. I'll see you in the next call.